Hey guys, Seiji
Hey
Bard
everyone,
podcast. This is Bard,
I'm Seiji.
and here we are once again, Seiji Bard podcast. We are doing an update on the LGBTQ plus flag killer.
Yeah.
The story of a woman that was killed right out in what's it called? Is it not Oak Glen? What's the name of that place? Seiji?
Um,
Glen
Cedar Glen.
Glen Oak?
Cedar.
Cedar Glen
Yeah.
near Arrowhead. How far is that from Arrowhead? You know?
I'm guessing it's right next door, like
Right.
within a mile or two.
Okay, cool. All right, so there's an update. The police found the killer. Well, they found him on day one. Let's be real. But there are some questions we do want to sort of talk about. Some misleading sources that we were looking at, and we do have questions about that. I know I have questions. I actually did some. I was doing some research yesterday, and I actually made some phone calls, and I was trying to get some information from the police dispatcher. Seiji doesn't know this, but now he does. So there was a source that we used in question. Well, before we start, do you want to go ahead and name the killer? Do you want to maybe play a little video?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a guy who, once you read up a little bit about him, and on our original live stream, for any of you who are looking at that, I have added two articles that the article that we originally cited naming the incorrect killer, as well as the corrected article with the identified killer of Laurie Carleton. So please check that out as well. Yeah,
Okay.
and hello to anyone who's watching.
Says we have one person in the chat. I don't know. Is that? Oh, are you following on with the Seiji Bard page or no? That's okay.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. So we're gonna play a little bit of video. If you haven't seen the video from the news yet, let's go ahead and take a look at. Let's take a look at this.
Was such a unique and staunch and fierce individual, it's going to be hard to
flag outside her store. Authorities identifying the now deceased suspect in her killing. Kena Whitworth has those details for us. Good morning, Kena.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. Authorities now saying the 27-year-old gunman was actually reported missing by his family the day prior, and that the murder weapon, a semi-automatic handgun, was not registered to him.
Hey, Brett.
This morning, authorities revealing new details in the murder of that beloved California store owner.
Ikaguchi tore down a pride or rainbow flag that was hanging in front of the mag.pi store and yelled many homophobic slurs toward Carleton.
Police say that Laura Ann Carleton confronted the gunman, now identified as 27-year-old Travis Ikaguchi, when he murdered her and then took off on foot in Cedar Glen, about an hour outside of Los Angeles.
All right, let's do this. So his name is Travis Ikaguchi. It's like a Japanese American. Hey, Brett, what's up? Our number one supporter. That's right. Thank you. Let's see. Seiji, are you able to see the chat? Are you able to see the chat on the right?
I am able to see it. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to put up a picture of. Ooh, you know what? I don't have a picture of him. No, actually, I do have a picture, but I don't have it in the slideshow. Let's see. I wish this was easy to do, but it's not. Anyway, his name is Travis Ikaguchi. I should at least. You guys could Google here. Let me try to pull it up on my phone because it would take way too much work to put this in the slideshow and re-upload the slideshow. So Travis Ikaguchi, Japanese American, looks like he used to post a lot of anti-LGBTQ plus content on social media. Travis Ikeguchi.
I put for those of you who are following, I put his name in the comments so that way you could read it, or you could find it.
Okay, I'm gonna show you guys this picture. Let me adjust my camera here so you can see that. So that's a picture of the suspect that they killed, Travis Ikeguchi. And as you can tell, he's a Japanese descent, Japanese American. Okay, so that's our killer. Now, what's interesting is what we were told, what we actually saw in some media sources. So we're going to go to that right now. This is okay. Let's go back. This is so here. This is a source called Freshers Live. Now, to be fair, I've never heard of these guys before a couple of days ago when we did the original story. We still don't know who they are. I was trying to find out information on them. I was trying to look up the author of the story, and it was just nothing really substantial was coming up. There was no social media that I could find. Freshers Live doesn't even really seem like a legitimate news source, unfortunately. But they did something extremely irresponsible. So look at this. On this page, you can see in the article in the first paragraph, it says, tragically, Laurie Carleton's life was cut short when she was shot and killed in a shocking incident. The heart-wrenching event occurred outside her mag.pi boutique in Cedar Glen, California. The suspect, later identified as her own brother, John Carleton. So so originally we were pretty confused, and we thought that this source actually had some information that the other sources didn't have. So we were starting to question the other sources as to why they weren't reporting John Carleton, this brother. What was your train of thought at this time, Seiji?
I definitely believed it was John Carleton. But the other thing that is interesting is they said that Travis Ikeguchi, he was the unidentified individual. They left him as the unidentified individual until late last night, early this morning. So the murder happened on Friday. So you had Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you basically had 2.5, 3 days almost before they identified the murderer. Now, this would be appropriate because they did say in one article I read, I think it was an NPR article or a LA Times, that Travis, it took a little while for them to identify Travis because he didn't have any identification on him. But in 2023, we have so much information on people. It doesn't take you 3 days to identify a murderer.
Right. That's interesting. I didn't know those other details, but I'm guessing the police would have wanted to, cross all their T's and dot their I's and be very careful before they, released any more information. What's interesting about the fact that he didn't have any ID on him is that his family was looking for him. He was reported missing. That's interesting. So something tells me he wasn't planning on going back home. What do you think?
I definitely agree. I think that when you look at the article, it talks about how he had a problem. He's been having a lot of problems since his parents got divorced. His dad was actually like either a police trainer or in Florida or something like that. But he seems like he was a really troubled young man who might have just recently had a psychotic break and, moved from rhetoric to action in terms of killing Laurie Carleton. And so we do have a witness, and the witness of what happened was a video camera, a closed circuit video camera that she had. What they said,
so they did have video. Okay.
Yeah. So when he pulled out his gun, he actually, looked like he thought about it for a second and then finally decided he was going to shoot her. And he shot her. She actually didn't come out of the store. She was inside her shop right in the doorway. So he shot her right there.
Oh, so that's why that would explain the hole in the glass that they mentioned.
Yeah.
One of the articles, I think it was the Daily Mail, had a pretty well written article where they talked about an actual hole in the glass. That was a single gunshot through the glass. So he shot her through the glass. Now, I think this is premeditated. Why he chose her, I have no idea. Where did he? Do you have any details on where he lived? Was he a resident of Cedar Glen, or did he live up in the mountain communities?
You know what? Let me check really quick.
All right. While you're looking for that, I'll just go ahead and talk on the premeditation aspect. The fact that he was reported missing, and the fact that he didn't have ID on him, and the fact that he shot at the police. I mean, shooting at the police is literally the fastest way to die. I think he was done. I think he meant to go up and kill her. But why her? I mean, think about it. I mean, let's just say he lived down the mountain, right? Somewhere in, who knows, San Bernardino, Redlands, Highland, somewhere down in the Inland Empire, or even, further away, he would have passed tons of places that had LGBTQ flags, pride flags, to have gotten to her. But why did he, just assuming that he didn't live in the mountain, why would you go all the way up there to kill her, specifically her? Obviously I'm speculating at this point. She's a staunch advocate of the community, the LGBTQ plus community, and he was a hater. He was an actual hater. Like, he spent his time on social media. My thing is, here's a question I have: is it possible they clashed in social media? What's his connection to her? Why her? That's an interesting. It's an interesting.
It
fact.
doesn't say where he lived, but yeah.
Okay, so we don't have where he lived. So let's just say he lived up in the mountain, right? Let's say he lived up in Cedar Glen, which is a really random place to commit an act of targeted hate like that against one store owner. It just doesn't seem normal. Maybe he lived up in the mountain.
Well, what I want to point out is go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it just doesn't seem normal that she would be targeted. My thing is, it's either he lived up there. I'm trying to get into his mindset. It's either he lived up in the mountain and he saw the flag and it triggered him. I'm thinking something happened online. I'm thinking something had to have happened online because it's such a small store and it's such a small footprint for that area. How does one find themselves targeting that one store? Does that make sense?
It makes no sense. I mean, it does seem like he was a bit of a lunatic because he was anti-cop. He was basically trying to push his Christian beliefs on people. And he says that he was like, it was really important to accept Jesus Christ in your life. And that's all great. I think that Bart and I both echo some of those sentiments in terms of the importance of Jesus in your life. But let's be clear. Jesus doesn't ever ask you to go out and kill anyone or hurt anyone. That is not something that Jesus asks you for. And this was clearly a very disturbed man who was shaken up by his parents' divorce. And I think to a large degree, he was unable to secure unemployment, which, means a lot of things. With the economy looking for employees so much. I mean, everywhere you go, they're looking for employees.
I got information.
Uh-huh. Good.
So check this out. So the Independent Here, I'll see if I can post this article link in the chat for you to take a look at. The Independent actually got some really good details on this. They have where he lived. Apparently, he's from Florida, and
Yeah.
he's a son of a law enforcement
Highway State Patrol.
Yeah. So let's see. Travis Ikeguchi, 27. He moved to Cedar Glen, or Glen Cedar. What's the name of it? Is it Cedar Glen? I think it's Cedar Glen. Cedar Glen. They put Glen Cedar. Somebody, the Independent, whoever wrote this, put it wrong. He moved up there, so he lived there. So that makes sense why they came across each other, because that's such a small place to actually, go up and commit a murder like that. Very targeted murder. So his family's from Sanford. I actually know where that is in Florida. It's outside of Orlando. And he lived in Lake Mary, which is, funny enough, a community where a lot of, it's near a place called Heathrow. I think Heathrow's there, where a bunch of celebrities live, like Shaq and Tiger Woods. And but yeah, he's from Florida, and he moved to Cedar Glen, which is really, really random. Super random. How do you move from Central Florida to a mountain community?
Well, I think what happened is his parents went through a really bad divorce, and it affected he and his sister negatively. Mm-hmm. That was in 2018 that they moved over. So they just recently moved to California right before COVID, and who knows?
Also, he and his sister moved?
He, his sister, and his mom.
So his dad's a cop, but he's anti-cop. So he must have had something. He must have not had a good relationship with his dad.
Well, that, and he also started shooting at cops, so he was seriously anti-cop.
Yeah, I think he was like you said, seriously disturbed.
Yeah.
A lot of personal stuff going on. But anyway, so we got to the bottom of that.
I think that when you're looking at this, Bart, it highlights one of the problems that we have right now in our country. When we look and say, okay, look at what's happening in Chicago. All black people commit crimes. Oh, look, all white people are racist. Oh, wait a minute. All people who attack a LGBTQ person with a flag, they're all anti-trans, anti all of this, when clearly this man was nuts. He doesn't represent any community except crazy people.
Yeah, he's in his community of his own, but apparently he's in groups.
He's in a community of one.
He's in his own group.
Yeah.
But all right, so back to the article. I feel I'm not happy about Freshers Live. I think they need to face some sort of consequences. I think Laurie Carleton's family should sue them, because what they published is misleading information. It's a lie. And it's if she does have a brother, it's libelous. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, imagine how you'd feel if you were John Carleton, or she has 9 kids. So
right.
From her blended family, imagine how some of them feel. Maybe they have a close relationship with their uncle or one of their uncles. Who knows? It's
exactly.
It's a rough article.
It is. I mean, and what's so interesting about it, you know how they say when you want to lie, make the lie as detailed as possible, right?
Yep.
And people are more likely to believe it. What's interesting is a lot of the mainstream articles that we read, let's say, for instance, I can put up on the screen. Let's put up a couple slides from, let's say, I know NPR. Here's NPR. NPR had very scant. That's it. Really, it was really just two. didn't have a lot of details, but it was actually, even though it was missing a lot of details, it was actually more accurate than the other article. The other article, like they say, Rolling Stone had a lot, but Fresher's Live had what seemed to be the most information, like section by section, you know, and they seemed to show respect by who was Laurie Carleton. And, you know, all of this is accurate, well-respected figure in the community. You know, her art shows her art career, her career in the creative space. It really gets into it, but then it mentions her brother, which is a flat out lie. And it just makes me wonder, how do you have this sort of journalistic malintent? Who was it mentions his name and then it says her brother after that. So it's like, it's very deliberate. It doesn't like just give a wrong name. It gives a name. Correct. And then it gives her brother. So it's in a way doubling down on the information. How did they come up with this and why? You know, and this is a problem. Maybe, you know, not to speculate, but it's like, why would someone name someone's brother in the shooting?
Well, let me see. Hold on. The person who wrote this article, her name is
Sona something, and
Sona Christian. And
I tried to look her up. Yeah. I didn't see anyone in the States per se. I saw someone somewhere over in Asia, maybe with that name. But anyway,
she might have had a career with the National Enquirer before.
Yes, or the New York Times. Yeah. Anyway, I think. Well, anyway, we have some answers now on this story. I think we could. Just
we could find out if you worked for either of our two last presidents.
Maybe she's trying to get a. Maybe she's trying to get a. What do you call it? Get a work on her resume.
Press secretary.
For a job. Yeah, press secretary. See, I wrote this great article on Freshers Live. You know, just all these alternative facts.
Yeah, but either way, to anyone who's watching this, we are sorry for reporting on this. We thought we had the right information. It turned out it was not correct. But definitely look into Travis Ikaguchi. He was a very sadly disturbed young man, and sadly it ended up with him killing someone else as well as himself. And a lot of people who now are going to be really worried if they are part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, guys, we we were given some misleading information, but we still had some questions about why it took the police so long. But it makes sense because he didn't have his ID. That actually makes sense. But sometimes police do withhold details, for strategic purposes, but we're not sure why they did this time. But now we know. Anyway, we came to give an update on the killer and to out this so-called media organization, Freshers Live, whatever that is. Total nonsense. Anyway, Seiji, are we done? We good?
We're done.
All right.
Thank you
everyone
for watching.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Yep.